What's up, and welcome to the latest edition of Viking Vibes, the St. Joseph by the Sea High School experience. Today we have with us two guests that are a part of history, that have made history in St. Joseph by the Sea High School. We're proud to have with us today Tommy and Dean, co-captains and both offensive and defensive MVP, respectively, of last week's championship varsity football game. So, guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. As I said offline before we were recording, I am secretly envious and jealous of both of you young men because when I was playing football at sea, I would have given anything to be a part of a championship football team. So before we talk about the championship, the wins, and all the highlights, I want to go back a little bit. So I'll ask you both some questions, talk about where you grew up, and then ultimately what made you choose St. Joe's.
All right, so I grew up in Huguenot, right next to sea.
Nice.
And played football right across the street at Boys.
Right.
Played for the Spawns. And, I chose C because, I was actually, amazed when I saw, everything they had, first of all. And then, 2 years before, we had some success with the championship, and, that gave me faith that we could win here.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'll give this place a
Give
shot.
him a shot.
Yeah.
From the South Beach area, Staten Island.
Right.
And all my life I played football, but before I went to Staten Island Boys, I actually played in Staten Island Pee Wee.
Cool.
So my team, the Jets, actually went from Pee Wee to Staten Island Boys. So that's how I met Dean and all the guys.
Right.
So that's really how that started. And the way I chose C is I actually got it recommended to me by a good friend, Justin Alexander.
Okay.
And all the alumni that were from there. So my first pick was supposed to be Zavarian because I live a minute away from the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah.
And exactly how Dean said it, I went to see and I was amazed by everything they had. And Coach Joe George, before Coach Baptiste, actually recruited all of us to go there with, I think it was Rocco's dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was our friend Rocco's dad. He actually helped us to get into C. And that's how it really formed a bond with all of us. So, yeah.
Very cool. So now, did you guys come out of public school, Catholic grammar schools?
I came out of Catholic school, St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's?
From St. Patrick's, I got a scholarship to C, so that also helped.
Wow, so he's an athlete and he's smart. Good for you, bro. Very nice.
C is also it was also the best academic school that I picked out of the three options. So that's also another reason why I chose it.
What about grammar schools? Where'd you go?
I went to public school. I went to IS 48, so I didn't get no scholarship.
No, but listen, it doesn't matter. The reason I'm asking is because, a lot of times you get kids from public school who think that, when you go to a Catholic school, whether it's St. Joe's or anything else, that, it's going to be crazy, it's going to be terrible. Talk about the transition.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a good transition. I actually, it made me a better person than who I was. It made me more interactive with other kids.
Yeah.
Public
Brings
school,
you out of your shell.
Yeah, public school, it's you're quiet, and then, you meet these other kids, and you're like, oh, wow. So it's a really good transition. And, C, everybody told me before from public to Catholic that C was the hardest school.
Well, you hear this all day.
Yeah.
Now, is that true? Be honest. You could say.
I mean, kind of, but you got, as soon as you get there, you got to get in the books. So you got to start studying right away. It's really.
But there's a difference because they're giving you the tools to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference. It's not that it's just hard, right? It's you have work. You're gonna when you have jobs, right? You're gonna have to go into work, and they're gonna give you a task, and it's probably not gonna be easy, but they're preparing you for your future. Now, before we talk about football, I want to ask you some other questions. So, what are you guys involved in outside of football? Holy Name, any other
Holy Name Society.
Yeah, we're both in the Holy Name. I'm also in the Acolyte Society. That's the altar serving group.
I was an Acolyte and a Holy Name guy. Good for you. There you go.
I'm the president of the Acolyte Society.
Nice, very nice.
Co-president.
Right.
I'm in the WSJS movie room.
You're on the TV studio?
Yeah.
Oh, I also play rugby. That's another thing.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. I'm not involved in any other sports, unfortunately. I was involved in track and basketball. My interest kind of fell off, so now I'm just
focused on one thing?
Yeah, mainly focused on football.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Focus your energy all in one spot. So we talked about where you grew up, why you chose St. Joe's, a couple of things that you're involved with. Talk about we'll do it this way. Talk about the facilities at St. Joe's, right? Because again, I said at the opening how envious I am of you guys. And I was talking to you offline and I'm saying, when I went there 150 years ago, we had dumbbells, we had a leaky garage. That's where we worked out. And it was good. Don't get me wrong. When I went to high school, St. Joe's was still the best, right? It's just that it was so different. So what is it like walking into your student center? What is it like training with sports science labs? Talk about all these things that you guys have access to.
As far as the gym, I mean, it's great. You get all the information you need from all your coaches. And that's the main reason why we ended up getting to where we got. Because before the season, I mean, we weren't the strongest or anything, and we got in the gym for 6 months straight. We all increased in all of our lifts. And because of those guys and those workouts that we had there, I mean, that's a main reason why we were the best in this league.
So it gives you an opportunity to be well-rounded. So, good. Talk about your experience with sports science, with everything, anything.
Yeah, sports science lab really helped me out a lot. Prior to sports science lab, my dad was my trainer. So going
Shout
into
out to Dad. Good
yeah,
job.
shout out to Dad. Prior going into that, so I really knew what the basics were and everything, but they really put like a cherry on top with all my training and stuff. The student center, I mean, it's probably one of the best things I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's good to go in there, take it during camp. We always chill in there, take naps.
Yeah, well, because it's a
And
place
so
for
we
you to hang
had
out.
lifts,
That's the whole
yeah.
thing.
We're
And then
there
what
a
about the
lot,
locker room? So the locker room, I mean, I remember when they broke ground for it. You guys had it already, but
Yeah.
But I mean, you have like an NFL style locker room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you forget that it's like that until you go somewhere else and you realize like, oh wow,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right. Well, because you take it for granted. But
Yeah.
that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. You should, because that's why you're at sea and that's what it's all about. Yeah. So talk about the season, right? So let's just talk about this season, where you began and how you got to the championship game. Talk about any hardships, difficulties, training. How did you guys get here?
Mainly, it was all just a team effort because we knew prior to the season prior that we were gonna get it done next year. Like everybody's talking about we're the class, we're the class that might get it done,
Right.
and it was just a mentality thing. So, beginning of camp, first day in pads, we all hit each other. It was
Right.
just all day hitting, all day pads, getting
So you kind of set the precedent for the
really
beginning.
just set the tone for the season. And when Coach JV came, it was really a heavy hitter because he really helped us out a lot with the coaching staff and the play calling. It was really good, and Coach RL really had a big part in that too.
Nice.
I wouldn't say that we worked any harder because we worked hard last year too.
Good for
but
you,
it was
yeah.
more like. It was more we played with more like passion of playing.
Different mindset.
Yeah, we were having fun out there.
Right.
We were playing and we realized like very early we're like, oh wow, like this is different. This
Like
is
you
a
could
different
actually
group.
do it because
Yeah.
there's a difference. I told you I played out there,
Yeah.
and it was we knew we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Believe me when I tell you, we went out there and we were like, we're gonna have fun. I hope to not break an arm, like that kind of a game. But going out there knowing that you have the tools to succeed and that you're able to win, that just gives you a whole different feeling. So
Yeah.
give me the stats. What were you guys on the season?
Around 95 tackles probably. I had a few-
95 tackles.
Yeah, defense is where all my stats are. Offense, I'm fullback.
Well,
not
that's
a
why
lot-
you're the defensive
Yeah.
MVP. So that's why I got.
fullback. Not a lot of stats, but a lot of blocks.
What about some stats on your end?
1,400 rushing yards for the season.
1,400. Now,
Yeah.
where does that put you in the league?
Second.
Second in the league.
Yeah, second so
Unbelievable.
far. Yeah.
What about you with tackles?
So I said 95 tackles. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I'm saying league-wise, that's a big number.
League wide, I'd say probably top 10. Probably yeah. There's a lot of kids with a lot of tackles, but
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So doing great things. And then talk about your first couple of games. I mean, you said you had that feeling, you had that inspiration.
Yeah.
What was the record on the season?
11-2 after
Wow.
the championship. Yeah. So probably I think
I
that
didn't
was
know
the
those
best.
stats. That's
wasn't-
why I asked.
yeah.
Was that the best record we had?
I think that's the most wins he's ever had.
Yeah,
Probably
right.
that's right.
Just
But
breaking records all
yeah.
day.
But I would say like it was kind of a process the whole season though. It was more like every week we got better than come out right out the gate a championship team. I mean the team we beat in the championship we lost to week 2.
Right.
And every week we would it was more like every game was a practice.
Right.
Every game we repped like what we were true to every single game. And from that we grew our offense, we grew our defense, and by the end we were a whole rounded team. So we weren't the best we ever were until the last game.
And I'm sure you showed it, obviously. You
Yeah.
displayed it because
Yeah.
you guys won. So we'll talk about the game itself. But I want to talk a little bit about the leadership, right? So you mentioned some of the coaches. So talk about having, an ex-NFL coach, an ex-NFL player as your coach in Tressa Baptiste.
The best thing is that he plays the same position that I play. So if I have any question at all, Coach Baptiste is the guy to go to.
Right.
I mean, I've learned everything that I know in football from him. And I could say that 100%. I mean, the player that I was going into varsity and now completely different. I mean, he teaches you how to play smart, technical, and with a lot of violence because that's how you get.
Yeah, right. That's how you got to get done.
to the league. So,
But that's all right. That's it's football. We're not playing tiddlywinks, right? So go. What about leadership and coaching?
So when he brought me up on varsity as a sophomore, and
Nice.
all he gave was just tough love. It's really it. So
That's what it is.
Yeah, so, I would have a question for him, and then he would be like, man, you're a sophomore, man.
Right.
You can make up that excuse.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
as time gradually went on, it was the tough love came to just love, and it was really, I thank him a lot for what he's done for the program and for us, really. He's really taught us a lot.
That's awesome. So we had, on a previous episode, we had the new athletic directors, Mr. Young and Dom, and they were just actually in here. We were talking about it, but talk about how the coaches at C are different. Like, I know when I went there, my coach was my coach, and then I didn't see him again until the next day, or I didn't see him until the game. There was no sort of guidance off the field. You guys get a lot of guidance from your coaches, right? Correct?
Yeah.
And so I think that has a lot to do with building championship teams, right? It doesn't end when you step off the field.
Yeah.
So talk about how your coaches are different, or how you interact with them off the field.
Football players with their coach more than probably their family for about 3 months.
There you go. Yeah.
So you better like your coach,
Right.
or even if you don't like him, you better respect him and like
Right.
the way that he coaches. You have to understand that he's for the bet, like doing what's best for you.
Right.
Because we like our coaches so much, and not even like, but respect them and understand that they know what they're talking about.
Right.
That's why we became such a great team, because we could listen to everything they say, go to them for anything. I mean, there's a lot of teams where kids don't go to their coaches for a question and they mess up a play.
Yeah.
They mess up a defense. But we know we can go to a coach because they tell us it's better off asking a question before a play than getting it wrong.
Correct.
So,
Makes sense. I agree with that 100%. That makes a lot of sense. And how about off the field? So I know we'll talk a little bit about academics. We have to talk a little bit about that. But, you guys have what I didn't have when I was there. You have a support team that if you're doing, my worst subject was math, right?
Yeah.
But when I was doing poorly in math, there wasn't someone to say, go and you can get some free tutor. Go and they'll help you. So talk about how you guys are able to balance the athletics along with a rigorous course, right? I mean, you guys are doing real work. Do you guys have any college credits? Are you guys enrolled in any of the AP courses?
Yeah.
How many college credits are you getting?
I have about 35.
35.
Yeah.
Wow.
About like 21 maybe.
So, but think about, and this really tells you how old I am, right? Because I'm standing here now with 2 MVPs of a championship football team who are saying that they've also received almost more than 30 college credits apiece. That's unheard of. And you guys take it for granted, which is great, because these are the kind of opportunities that C is looking to provide. So back to the original question, talk about the ability to juggle the books and the ball.
It's really all about, I would say, is all about building a relationship with your teachers. Luckily, I've had awesome teachers since freshman year, and they've helped me. They pushed me through a lot, and I thank them all for that. As soon as you get into C, you got to start studying.
Right.
Because I don't know if some kids that I knew that went to C, they really didn't last, and they transferred to other schools because they thought the work was hard.
Right.
I feel like it's all about building a good relationship with your teachers and just paying attention and just knowing what your future holds at C.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say the most important skill that I learned from C academically is how to be like organized, because the iPad, it's a way different world than books. I mean, everything that I have there, everything that I know where everything I need is, and it's so much easier to study, and like it actually makes learning like not that terrible.
Right, not that terrible. That's a good way to put it. Learning not that terrible.
Yeah. No, because before a test, I mean, I could look through everything, and it's like the PowerPoints and everything. It's so much easier to learn now, and I mean, I wasn't that great of a student before I came to C, and then like now I'm a much better student.
So how do you feel that this has prepared you for college on the academic side? And we'll go back to sports.
Everybody that I knew that graduated from C said that college is a breeze. So like you said, it prepares you for college. It helps push you through high school in a way that no other high schools can. And once you go to college, it's like a breeze.
Right.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
prepared.
Yeah, 100% more.
And it's going to be nice when you're saving like, what, 50, 60 grand a year because you got all these college credits. That's nice for both you and the family, right? You're not going to have to worry about that. So now let's fast forward to last Friday, right? Talk about walking on the field. Talk about the feeling you guys had. What was the tempo? What was the momentum walking out there?
It was definitely different. You know, playing at a neutral zone like Farrell against our rival Peters. I mean, it's something that I could only dreamed of when I was playing at boys. And, you know, for it to really come true and end the way I wanted to, I mean, it was a surreal experience. And it's all I want from football.
So before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Farrell because they went through a lot. So just so you guys know, and I learned this today, I didn't even know this, but, you know, both Mr. Young and Dom and the league itself and Farrell and Father Riley, they all had many, many, many conversations, often online, to get that game to be moved to Farrell as opposed to being played in Long Island. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but you were originally in Long Island, and you probably would have had like 50 fans, which is why. But it's important, right? That's why they made that move. So talk about what it was like to walk out in front of over 2,000 fans, if I'm not mistaken.
It felt like you were in a movie,
right?
It felt like you were. Yeah, it felt like Literally. You were in a cinema almost. That moment, we were all running out on the field. The one thing I had in my mind was to prove the doubters wrong.
Yep.
And you know that we were. Some people said that we were the favorites during the game, but I thought we were the underdogs. You gotta have
really?
That was my mentality going in the game, that we were the underdogs, and they think that they have the upper hand over us. And you know, it's just we got to play as a team, we got to play as a family, and we got to prove these fans wrong that, you know, C's really up there. C's one of the top schools in New York.
Interesting you say that, because C always gets the good rap for academics, right? Always. Oh, academically. And it's true, right? But people tend to not put us in the same column when we're talking about sports. And we just had the ADs here. We won football, right? We won soccer. They listed at least, I think, 8 championships that have been won just this season alone.
Yeah.
And yet there's still people out there who are like, C's not for sports.
Regardless of the records we broke or our record during the season, I don't think anyone thought we were going to win that game until the last second. The only people that thought we would win this championship this year were the people in the room with us in the locker room.
Let's talk about the play. So now I wasn't there, and I'm upset that I wasn't there because I would have loved to have been there. But the kicker, the placeholder, give me the whole rundown on how that happened and how that 2-point conversion, the fake. Yeah, give me the whole thing.
So I want to hear it live. So we installed that. I would have to say when we played Holy Trinity on the last regular season game.
Okay.
So mainly they stacked the box outside. And they were very lazy in the middle. So Coach Baptiste and Lav were talking, and then Lav came in the locker room and told us, "Hey, listen, we're going to run this trick play." So he's going to get the ball, and he's going to yell, "Fire, fire, fire," and he's going to run up the middle, and everybody just push.
Right.
So it was an easy play. And then when it came to St. Peter's, they stack the box in the middle, and they overload on one side, and they keep one kid alone on one side. So I play the wing, and sophomore Joey Moran plays the other wing. So when it went to the right side, Joey was on that side, and he had a perfect kick-out block, and Lav just went in and scored.
And all week, Coach Baptiste made us know that if we see that formation, we are running that ball.
Yeah, we're going to run that way.
So now I thought that it was just that individual who took it upon himself. So
no.
Okay. Because the way I heard it was like you're never going to believe it. The kid just called an audible and just ran it in. I was like, really? I was like, that's wild.
That happened one time with me.
Oh, I was going to say.
Yeah, that happened one time during one game. I called it, and then.
But this was supposed to be executed.
Yeah, this was planned.
Because on top of being the head coach, Coach Baptiste is the special teams coach, and he makes sure we have one play for every game.
Yeah,
got it.
One play for every game, just in case it goes down that path. So
and then. The final, what was it, 3 seconds? Who was it that deflected the pass?
Matthew Fuentes.
Matthew Fuentes. All right, so talk about when you see that football bouncing off Matt's glove, knowing the time has expired and you guys just won.
I didn't believe it was real.
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe.
It was honestly like crazy. The 10 minutes after he deflected that ball were the craziest 10 minutes of my life.
Yep.
We were just running around celebrating, and we couldn't believe it. Like, we knew we could do it.
Right.
But for it to actually happen.
Right, to achieve the goal is always something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always there. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably, like Dean said, probably one of the best 10 minutes of my life.
And now, at what point were you guys then nominated offensive and defensive MVP of the game?
So they called us. Well, I was still celebrating, and then I ran.
Good for you.
I ran over, and I saw the team in the huddle, and I saw the guy with the microphone, which I think was the commissioner of the NYCHSFL. Wow. He announced defensive MVP Dean Coscia and offensive MVP Tommy DiGregorio, but he gave me the defensive plaque, and I had to switch it with him.
You don't know that guy. He was
and
he was just doing what they said. Read this, go hand this plaque.
And when they went to take the picture for me and Dean, I actually
was backwards.
No. I gave in my plaque to my father. Yeah, I was like, "Dad, hold this." And then I don't know who came to get me. He's like, "You guys got to take a picture." And I'm like, "I don't have my plaque." So Dean's like, "Here, I'll just hold up one plaque, and we'll."
And you made it work.
Yeah,
you got to make it work. So now, that was Friday. Describe the weekend, right? Because you still got to be living this high, right? I mean, today's Monday, so maybe it came down a little.
Yeah.
Today's Tuesday, right?
I mean,
maybe it came a little bit. But
to be honest, we're riding this high for a good week. So,
Good.
Yeah, it's instead of a weekend celebration, it's got to be a week celebration.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean,
It's got to get
about 9 months into this, so
yeah, it's got to be
at least a week.
yeah.
It's got to be. Listen, it can last as long as you want. 'Cause like I said, you guys have literally set history in school, and I know at your age right now, it's like, but you're going to be looking back at this, and who knows if we do this again? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just because we've done it once doesn't mean you can do it again. There's plenty of high schools who've won one and done.
Yeah.
There's plenty who've never won one at all. Right. So you guys are in the thick of it right now, and you should be enjoying it. What I want to ask is, what would you say, or what would you think? Or I'm going to cut that, David. I want to somehow get like.
What's like?
I want to get the young kids involved. Yeah. So now you guys are experiencing the success. You guys have expressed how hard you have to work, right? Because they're not going to hand you a championship. You got to work for it. You got to earn it. It was a culmination of 4 years of work, 9 months of work this year, but 4 years culminated, and you guys took home the trophy. What's, for kids that are 7th, 8th graders looking to come to St. Joe's, what's some words of wisdom or some advice that you would give them when it comes to selecting a school?
I would say for 2-3 years, put your head down and grind, because as good as you think you are, you're not that good.
There you go.
And you need to keep working.
Yep.
What would you say?
I would probably say the exact thing Dean said, but I would say, the grind doesn't stop, and you really, if you're going to want to chase that championship, you got to be committed to the sport. You have to put in the work every day. You have to train in the off season, tell your dad, hey dad, I want to sign up for a gym membership. Like I want to go here. I want to train with this guy. Like that's how I really,
Put in the work.
That's how I really prepared.
I would also say that to a kid, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think these days in the summer, running these sprints,
Yeah.
is it really worth it?
You still do suicides? They used to call them
Yes.
suicides.
Yes.
How about
do,
Dallas? You
Yeah.
do Dallas?
We do.
See, Dallas is Dallas
What
is a
did,
killer.
we used to do something called overtimes.
Yes.
So we used to line up on. Coach Pap used to make us line up on the goal line.
Right.
And it was 5 back, 10 back, 15
The
back,
hash. Right.
the hash,
Yep.
and we would run a 110 all the way to the other side of the
Right.
field, do the same exact thing, and run back. And one time I think he made us do that, like 6 times.
Yeah, about 6
We
times.
called that Dallas. It was the
Yeah.
same thing. I don't know
Yeah.
why
So,
our coaches called it
I would
Dallas. Same
say-
thing, back and forth, back and forth.
I would say after doing that and you think it's not worth it, when you're holding that trophy at the end of the year,
Oh, yeah, it don't matter.
100%
Yeah.
worth it.
Right.
100% worth it.
And now, where are you guys looking to go to college? Talk to me about the next, the future, right?
So I'm looking to play collegiate football, Division III. I have a couple of schools. I have actually like maybe 10 schools of mine.
Right.
Hopefully it's in God's hands, God willing, and I get
It'll
off.
all work out.
Yeah, hopefully it'll all work out, and God will put me in the right school. I'll be happy. My parents will be happy. And I'll probably look back at it and I'll thank C for everything. Really.
And what are you looking to do? You're
There's-
young, so I could say this.
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
So my father is an electrician right now.
Beautiful.
He will probably grandfather me into the union.
Nice.
So I'm trying to get my bachelor's degree in business management to be a project manager. So I plan on being a project manager for the local 3.
Beautiful. What do we got?
I also want to play football, probably on the D3 level. There's only a few schools I would really want to play football at. One of them is I was talking about before about Muhlenberg. That's
Muhlenberg,
a
yeah.
good academic school,
Yeah.
much like C.
Yeah.
And so also I want to do finance, and then I want to look into like law a bit. My dad's a financial advisor, so I have to at least get a major in that, get 4 years. Make it happen.
You don't have to do what you want. Listen, it's a different age now. You can do
Yeah,
whatever you
I know.
want to do. But that's what you're interested in. And where do you see? I'm going to ask you the tough question. So where do you think you guys are going to be in 2 years?
Hopefully on the field, win another championship.
Yep.
Nice.
And getting
I like
my
that.
degree.
Yep.
So outside of the field, right, and outside of the locker room, because again, I was a football guy and I know the camaraderie. Talk about, it's not just on the field, right? You guys are like brothers, right?
Yeah.
And you always have each other's back. So talk about how that plays into the overall family feel at sea. And
We all knew each other from a very young age. So we all probably met each other probably around like 8 years old.
wow, so you guys have been together a long time.
Yeah, we've been together for a while, ever since Staten Island Boys, and we all really bonded since we all got selected to be on an all-star team, Staten Island Boys places.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like the bond really started from there. I still have friends from Staten Island Pee Wee that I still talk to, of course, and it's really a big part in the big brother.
Because I remember again, we were nothing like you guys, right? We were lucky that we had helmets. But when we, it wasn't just on the field. It was everywhere we went. We were the team.
Yeah.
And even though we weren't championship winning team, we would still, it was like that sense of pride. You'd walk through the mall, right? That's how old you could walk through the mall. You're like, we're on the C team, like we're the Vikings,
Same thing with
and
us.
it's something that I still carry with me today. I still see kids that I played with. I know, speak to kids that I played with regularly, and it's something that you never forget. So what
this team's definitely the closest group I've ever been with, and I could say it's 100% a factor in why we were winning. But even like the kids that aren't starters, the kids that are like just practice with us, I mean, we're all a family.
Right.
Like, every single kid on this team is a family together, and that drove us, like, because we want to win for each other. We're looking at each other on that field. We're like, we know this person wants it as much as I want it.
Right.
So I'm going to work just as hard. So that's why we did it.
Outside of winning the championship, what was one defining moment that each of you can remember from this season or from your last 4 years at St. Joseph?
I would say beating Moore Catholic for the first time in
more.
school history.
And when was that?
That was week 5.
Yeah,
This
we
season.
yeah.
And it was coming off of a loss, like one of our 2 losses this year, and we were on a downslope for 1 week, and we won that game, and we realized we're right back where we wanted.
Yeah,
changed
we were
trajectory.
we were legit.
Right.
Like
That was it? That was the game.
Yeah, that was the game.
So that was the moment.
We stood up and we were like, yeah, we're this, like, we're them. Like,
We're going to the house.
We're-
That's it.
yeah.
We're done. We touched on a lot of stuff, and I just want to make sure we cover everything. So is there anything that we didn't talk about that you think is important that anyone listening or watching might want to know, or anything, words of wisdom? I mean, you guys are still so young, but you've accomplished so much. Anything you'd like to add, you can.
Yeah, I'd like to say before just that, like, for a young player, just don't listen to what anyone's saying, any of the hype going into high school of where you should go, what you should do, because it's really up to you and how much you want to work to get to that goal. And I realized that just this year. I mean, I wouldn't have said this before last year, but when you see the results of what you've been doing for so long, for 10 years for me,
Right.
I mean, it's the best thing in the world when you see the results come out your way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Any words of wisdom?
I want to thank my mom and dad for really putting me in C in the first place, because it really paid off. If I'm going to tell a young kid one thing, it's to chase your dreams and to follow, wherever you head, like, wherever you place your dreams, you just got to go chase it.
I want to make a pledge, and you can shake my hand, that when you guys are in the NFL or when you guys are playing in college, that when I send you a text message or an email, you guys are going to come back on and come back on, bring your gear, bring your jersey, talk about how you guys won the next championship. You're in?
Of course.
Cool. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for being with us today. For anyone listening or watching, please don't forget to like or subscribe to Viking Vibes, the St. Joseph by the Sea High School experience. Share this content, disseminate this content. And once again, congratulations to you guys as well as the entire football program at St. Joseph by the Sea High School for making history. Final score was what?
8-7.
8-7.
8-7. Congratulations, guys. And you'll be back.
Yep.
Thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. For anyone who's listening or watching, don't forget to like or subscribe to Viking Vibes, the St. Joseph by the Sea High School experience. Share this content. Get it out there. Let people see all the great stuff that St. Joseph by the Sea High School is doing. And until next time.